Check, check. Okay. All right. We might have to start over. Somebody let me know if you guys can hear me now. I was told I had no sound. I think it was a microphone issue. So we hit the settings button. Let's see if we need to kick it off again. Hopefully you can hear me, Deanna. Uh, the system says the sound works. I'll start over a little bit. We're gonna do big picture. We're gonna do the game and then 3 questions. So hopefully you guys can hear me. If you can't, I appreciate it anyway. Um, Lions get a 31-9 win over the Minnesota Vikings. We clinched the North, back-to-back North. Okay, good. I think we're okay sound-wise. Back-to-back North titles, number one seed. What does number one seed mean? It means we get a week off. Because they're the number one seed, they get a bye. That is good in general, but it is particularly good for us because we need to get some guys back who have been injured. And it's possible that Demo might be back. I really want to see what's up with Carlton Davis. It's another week that Melanfonwu is getting better. Another week Anzalone's getting better. And I think guys are getting more comfortable. So it's another week. Zadarius played really well today. He's just getting more and more comfortable in the system, right? And some of these other guys. But I think Anzalone's so huge, by the way. I'll probably mention him 3 or 4 times before this is all done. The second thing is obvious. All games have to be, we get home field advantage. We don't play anywhere except Detroit or New Orleans. That's it. Now, I don't really care because they won all their road games, and I think they can beat anybody anywhere. I've been saying that for 3 months. I've been saying that since probably Dallas, certainly Houston. I think the Lions can beat anyone anywhere because it is about how they're built, right? I keep saying the same catchphrase. They're built for this. They say it. I say it. But they are. It doesn't matter. The obstacle doesn't matter. The injuries didn't matter. They lost one game, that Buffalo game, and that was an anomaly. That was not the norm. Everybody can't put up 48. And we put up 42 in that game. We didn't play well tonight at times. I thought Goff made a couple of bad decisions tonight. I thought we had a couple of ill-timed. We didn't even play our best game. And we manhandled. We certainly handled a team that some people have in the Super Bowl. They were all picking Minnesota, right? And I will lie to you and say, I don't care what the national media says. That's not really true. So I'm probably going to say that later. Don't believe me. It bothers me that this particular team, not Detroit as a whole, although that's part of it, not my quarterback, although that's part of it, this particular team has earned it. They've earned for people to go, wait. Fact is, by every measure, the Lions are the best team in the NFC without question. And they might be the best team in the league. And now, as we sit here a little after midnight, January 6th, we don't have to beat a bunch of AFC teams. In a perfect world, we only have to beat one. And I don't care if it's Kansas City or Buffalo or Baltimore. It doesn't matter. I believe, yes, Deanna, I think Hutchinson will be back for the Super Bowl. And even if he's not, it would be great. So Deanna asked the question, do I think Hutch will be back for the Super Bowl? I hope so. He has said that. It might be ambitious. It might just be rumor. But I hope it's real because I can't wait to see him and Zadarius Smith on the field at the same time, what that's going to mean. And I think that what we saw tonight was that they just figure out on that week for that game, what do we need to do? Third thing that the one seed does is it says to the rest of the league, we're the best team in the NFC. It's not an opinion anymore. It's a fact. You got to come beat us. If you want this, you're going to have to come to Detroit and take it. And that message, so what I'm talking about there is that everybody knows that. It's that message. It's that, again, on a primetime game at home, somebody came in here and was supposed to beat us, right? They were supposed to come in and give us a game. Our defense has so many injuries. They were supposed to put up a bunch of points. And we just said, nah, that's really not how any of this works, right? And so the big picture is home games, week off, get healthy, make a statement to the entire league. We can win in multiple ways. Oh, by the way, y'all might want to look up Jahmyr Gibbs because we might have the best player in football. Non-quarterback. Sorry. And I don't even know if I'm going to put that caveat. I'm at this weird place where I think Jahmyr Gibbs might be the best running back in football. And I got friends who are Eagles fans. Saquon's good. I can say that without putting Saquon Barkley down. I'm sorry. Jahmyr Gibbs, we may never know because as soon as Demo gets back, they're going to split time. Jahmyr Gibbs might be the best running back in the league. The offense is elite. It's documented. We have the best offense in the league. But there's this other thing where nothing really stops us. We overcome whatever, overcome injuries, overcome criticism, overcome a 5 interception game in Houston, overcome whatever, because it's a thing about this team where next man up. It's not just a cute saying with this team. It's not. Al-Qadim Muhammad will make a big play. Who? Yep. Al-Qadim Muhammad will make a big play. Guys make plays, and the Ben Niemans of the world, and even Kendall Vildor, guys are making. And by the way, I owe Amik Robertson an apology. I think one of the early podcasts this season, I said he's great in the slot. I don't know that if we needed him to go outside, he could and play outside corner. And he proved me wrong. He proved me really, really wrong. So if the defense plays like they played tonight, I'm not sure who's coming in here and beating us. I'm open. The comment section is open if you think somebody can. And my guess is if you're listening at midnight, you're probably a Lions fan. If you're listening at all, you're probably a Lions fan. And so you probably believe like me because I'm hyped. It's energy after I was never really worried. And then as I watched the defense play in the first half, I just kept saying, if the defense keeps this up, we're eventually going to flex our muscle offensively and pull away. And that's exactly what happened. But I just think that this Minnesota team is a lot of people's, was 4 hours ago. There were a lot of people's pick to win the NFC. There were a lot of people who didn't think we could stop that offense. Justin Jefferson was not impactful in the game today. There is something about this team, and I think it is a bigger statement. There's something about this organization in 2025 that's special, and they find a way. And I'm super excited that somebody's got to come in here and beat us. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. So big picture is I'm not going to jump too far. Yes, I am. I think we're going to go to the Super Bowl, but I've been saying that for 10 weeks. I've been saying the only team that could beat the Lions was the Lions since Dallas, like week 5. So that's not shocking. But I think the way they won tonight was important. The statement that it made was very important. And the knowledge that the defense should continue to get better because they'll get healthy is important. And Jahmyr Gibbs is a star, and we know it, and everybody else knows it, and there's nothing they can do about it. So the game, I don't think it was really an ebb and flow thing in the game. I think that early on, we just weren't crisp offensively. But the defense, and you're going to hear the term complementary football quite a bit, because that's what happened. When we turned the ball over that was a tip ball. I know what Goff was trying to do, but the ball got tipped, and then we hold them to a field goal. That's like a win for the defense. When we turn the ball over in our territory, when you get into our red zone 3 times and we hold you to 3 field goals, that is demoralizing to you because 16 is the quarterback, and eventually they're going to do what they do. They're going to get in the end zone, and he's got 26 behind him, and 14's out there, and 87's out there, and don't forget about 9. There's just weapons. So as you're kicking these field goals, or one time he went for it and they didn't get it on 4th down, as you're coming up with these empty possessions or field goal possessions, this is going to bite us. This is going to bite us because they're going to score. At some point, they're going to score. And it was a good performance, maybe a B+ effort, A- B+ effort. But I think there were some special individual performances. Jahmyr, Amik, Anzalone, Zadarius, maybe. But mostly When both teams don't do anything on their first drive, I say, okay, that's cool. And it was very important to get the first touchdown to land the first punch, I think. And then we got that big fourth down stop. Big fourth down conversion where Goff took a big hit, but he got off the pass and got the first down. And then when Za'Darius gets the sack, so now I see the defense has shown up. Don't let Jefferson get loose. And he caught a pass that should have been a delay of game, by the way, early play to Jefferson. But as we get through into like nearing halftime, my feeling was, and I always say this because I think it's an important way to try and look at the game. If you had no rooting interest, if you didn't see jersey color and you didn't know names, does one of the teams just look better than the other one? And I say this all the time. And I felt like that again tonight. Like if I didn't know who was who, if I didn't know the score, I would just point to that team's better. The team in black's better, right? And that's what I felt like. And then the second half, you just saw them. I've asked for this for years. Kind of put their foot on their neck. We just started putting the ball in the end zone. And at that point, if you can't get in the end zone, you're not going to stay with us because we're going to score. Holding them to field goals in the first half was the most important thing that happened in the game. Defensively, they probably gave up some yards. Again, it's a late game. I don't always do all the stats and stuff. But keeping them to field goals was what this game was about. And sometimes that's how you win the game. And I love the shot, second or third time I've seen it this year, of Aaron Glenn on the sidelines, legs crossed like he's chilling at the beach. That's such a gratifying moment for him, I'm sure, because all week long, local and national media doubted them. Oh, we just don't know. I think the spread was 2.5, something silly, because they still just don't get that we're not just talented. The metaphorical we, right? The royal we. They don't get that the Lions are more than just talented. There is a culture. There is a mindset. There's a coaching philosophy. There is something in the DNA of these players because it's in the DNA of the coaches because of Spielman and Sheila and Brad Holmes. It permeates the entire organization. So nothing phases them. They can get down 10-0 like they did in the first game. They can throw 5 picks in Houston. Nothing shakes them. And at some point as a game goes on, those field goals are taking your will. And then Jameer gets loose. And then Jameer gets loose again. And you realize, oh, wait, they got the best player on the field, number 26. We can't stop them, right? We can't stop them. Buffalo felt that too, except Buffalo had the best player on the field that day, and we couldn't stop him. Anzalone is huge. Anzalone is huge. So when we get to 10-6 at halftime, it was a momentum thing because we got the ball back in a 7-6 game with 28 seconds or something. And Jared Goff does, excuse my language, Jared Goff shit. He did, so he 2 passes, used the time wisely. Jake Bates doesn't seem like a big deal in the grand scheme of a 31-9 game, but in the time where they had gotten points, it's okay, we're still in it. And then 27 seconds later, Jake Bates is kicking a field goal, and you're like, they just took those 3 points back. Within you, as a player, I have to imagine that's tough. That's tough. And then Amik Robertson makes plays, and the refs try and bail them out with what I thought was a bad call on Brian Branch, but whatever. But that's me. You guys know me. I don't. There's certain calls I hate. I think officiating in the National Football League sucks, by the way. Sidebar. But when we got the 4th down touchdown on what they call a Texas route to Gibbs in the backfield, dashes out, dashes in, and no linebacker in the league can cover it. And I think somebody said, oh, how do you cover that play? And now it's 17-9. That was a statement drive. That in my mind was the moment where I was texting people like, okay. I think that was the moment, right? And then they missed a field goal. And now the wheels are off. The snowball's rolling downhill. Whatever term you want to use, that was when you could see. You saw something in Justin Jefferson's affect, sitting on the sidelines, how he was, the way he were looking. You saw something in Darnold's eyes, right? And then Jameer scores again, and now you realize, oh boy, We got a real problem with 26. We got a real problem. And you see it's almost like a battery draining. And I enjoy watching the Lions impose their will on other teams. It is one of the things I've enjoyed the most this year. When a game appears to be close, or the score is close, or when the Lions play a B minus game, but they never stop coming. They just never stop coming. So in the third quarter and guys are getting tired and you can't afford to make a mistake, you do, or when, you think you're in it and you feel like you're in it, and then Brock Purdy throws to Curry Joseph and you're not in it. Or they get a big sack and because something in you knows we're doing everything we can. We're still in this. They're better. Minnesota knew the Lions were better. The national media is probably just trying to be entertaining, and idiots like Nick Wright want to say idiotic stuff to get clicks. I don't understand, because we watch these games and I watch every play of every game. You know that. There's not been a game where I didn't think we were the better team on the field. In Tampa was game 2. We were rusty and we made 3 big mistakes. One was a turnover, one was a bust, 2 turnovers and a busted coverage, I feel like. We lost to Tampa. We didn't play to our capabilities. That was a C- game. Buffalo played an A+ game. And when a good team plays an A+ game, you can't play an A- game. They'll beat you. That's what I think it was. I think Buffalo played an A+ game. We played an A- game. In every other game, we were the best team on the field by halftime, for sure. Houston played really well in the first half, and then we decided to show up. So most of the time, in all of the game, all of the minutes, all of the hours, I've watched this team this year in 17 games. Let's go by quarters, whatever that number is. I don't want to do the math and get all geeky. Most of every game, I felt like the Lions were the better team. And tonight, pretty much from kickoff. That doesn't go away. They're not lucky. We can have that discussion if you want. They're not lucky. They're good. And they have heart. And they have fight. And they have a really good quarterback. They've got a superstar in Amon-Ra St. Brown. They've got superstars in Penei Sewell and Jahmyr Gibbs. They have toughness. They have grit. So this game to me, Anzalone was huge. Anzalone was so huge. But by the time we got to 24-9, at that point, I was getting messages from people, okay, congratulations, I'm going to bed. Which I don't have the luxury of doing that because of this. But I also couldn't go to sleep right now if you paid me. I'm too excited. Right? I'm too excited. And I think a lot of us are. The number of people who are listening right now, and I appreciate each and every one of you, we must be excited. All right, let's do a few questions, and then I won't stay too long tonight. Let's see what we got. First question. Does anyone in the NFC scare you? I feel like I might have already answered that question. No. Especially now that we get 2 weeks to get healthier. I think Anzalone was huge. If we get Carlton Davis back with Anzalone, keep Amik outside, no matter what's going on with Arnold. And it didn't look good. I'm assuming Arnold's serious. I don't know if Rakestraw's coming back. That'd be cool. If we can get CD back, and I got Carlton Davis and Amik on the outside, who's to scare me? I want Tampa. Instant motivation. They gave us one of our 2 losses. I'm not even going to project out. Obviously, Green Bay and Minnesota don't scare me. That's 4 wins that we've had this year. Neither of those teams scare me. The Rams? Okay, Rams got Minnesota next week. We'll see what happens there. Philly. Okay, I think Philly's the 2, so that'd be in the championship game. Who am I missing? Oh, the South champ. Tampa in the South. Green Bay, Minnesota. I'm forgetting somebody. Sorry. Who won the West? Nope, that's the Rams, right? Don't even remember. See, that's how hype I am. I'm forgetting a team. No, I think I got everybody right. Rams, Eagles, Tampa, Minnesota, Green Bay. I forgot somebody. They can't be that good because I don't remember who they are. Oh, the Commanders. I'm sorry. Washington actually is a good team with a good quarterback. No. Short answer is no. After the night, especially when we can score against anybody, obviously. We can score running, passing. If the defense can keep you out of the end zone, you can't keep up with us. My quarterback is playing just really solid football. There were a couple decisions tonight, but nothing that really killed us. And more than anything, I keep reiterating this team doesn't get frazzled. They don't get rattled by mistakes. They don't get rattled by whatever the four letter is saying about them. I know it's lame, but they're honestly built for this. So my short answer, yeah, I tried. I thought about every team, and I got to honestly say, scares me? No. Nobody in the NFC scares me. All right, let's get another one. What's the narrative after the night? The narrative. I assume you mean the media, right? And I talk about it quite a bit because I admitted earlier, I get irritated more with the national media, i.e., the four letter, and how they talk about Detroit, the city, the teams, plural, Pistons, Tigers, whatever. And they the Lions in particular is, oh, cute story, cute. No, cute story went out the window last year. They're just the best team in NFC right now. They're the most talented team potentially in the league. I want to tell you I don't care. I don't care what they say about us, except that's a lie. And even guys locally, there's these super negative guys locally, and I mention them all the time. Some of it is they are my Lex Luthor, right? I am the protagonist on a single person podcast. It's just me. I would love to find somebody to co-host who really wants to do this, who's passionate about it, who wouldn't worry about being on the out. If you're out there and you're listening and you are interested, maybe full-time, certainly part-time, I would love for there to be another voice. But the reality is I am a single voice on a narrative podcast. So I have to have an enemy who's my Lex Luthor, right? And it is often specific guys in sports talk radio or the people who call into that show and tell that guy he's great. I actually don't care that much about him. It's the way they do the show that bothers me because it's always this ridiculousness of you as a fan. If you don't think the way I think, you're wrong and I'm right because he hosts a show. And I hate that. And I don't ever pretend that this is a sports talk radio show, but the narrative nationally will be, oh, the Lions defense showed up. And there'll be a few people who've been on the line and they'll come back and they'll say, hey, I like the Lions now. 3 days ago, they picked Minnesota, but now they're going to like the Lions. You're going to have idiots like Nick Wright who are just going to say what he's going to say. And I don't like him specifically. Those people don't have a lot of credibility with me. They're going to say the Vikings didn't play well. They're going to say, can the Lions duplicate that defensive performance? That's not horrible. They're going to have to acknowledge how special Jahmyr Gibbs is. They're going to say Darnold. That's what they're going to say. Darnold didn't meet the moment. Get ready to hear that. Sam Darnold didn't rise to the occasion or whatever. But they're going to acknowledge that we're going to get healthy with a bye week. All those people who picked the Vikings are going to have to get past their whole Lions are a cute story thing. But they can't overcome all those injuries, except all we keep doing is winning, despite the injuries. Some of them are going to say, okay, all right, I'm done. Lions will be in New Orleans. I like our chances. I've been saying it since week 5. My brother Kenny said they were going to be 15-2 second week of the season. So he gets his flowers. He's probably asleep, but he'll listen to it tomorrow. And yep, he told me. He did. He called it. And you can go back to week 1 or week 2 because he wrote it in. I was like, oh, wow, we're going 15-2. I've been comfortable since Dallas with the idea that this is the best team in the NFL and the only people that could beat them were themselves. And I think tonight's just more evidence of that. So to answer your question, the narrative will be they overestimated Minnesota. Our defense was surprisingly good. Sam Darnold didn't rise to the occasion. And Jahmyr Gibbs is special. And that if we keep getting healthy, we're going to be a tough out. So they're going to get on the bandwagon now. A lot of people are. That idiot Nick Wright probably won't, but others will. All right, last one. How much confidence does this defense performance give you? Ooh. A lot. Wait. Well, my confidence was already high. So it's a bit of a trick question. I didn't have any problem with outscoring everybody. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I think I said, I'm comfortable winning a 38-35 shootout because it doesn't matter, because we don't apologize for wins. I still think this is the best team in the league. I've been saying it for 10 weeks, 11 weeks now. The game they lost, the other team played their best game of the season probably. And if Buffalo can show up in New Orleans and do that again, which I don't think they could because our defense will be constructed differently. And I like our chances. Kansas City is still the champs. You got to knock them off 2 times, blah, blah, blah. I like our chances. I like their defense, but I like our offense more. The grit thing is real. It's not a cute saying. That is what our defense represents. Tonight's performance was really potentially the best performance of the year because we had the injuries and we played a complementary game. The offense did plenty. 31 points wins you most games. The defense did their job. They gave up yards but kept them out of the end zone. The defense covered the offense's back on the turnovers. They just find a way. And I don't feel like I'm struggling to explain it. I feel like I've been explaining it for weeks. With every win, I have to go, oh no, but they can do this. Oh no, but if we need to run, we'll run it down your throat. If we need to pass, we'll pass it. If we need to create turnovers, Kirby Joseph will lead the league in interceptions. And Jahmyr Gibbs lead the league in touchdowns. And Jared Goff, okay, can't do Jared Goff. I promise I would do the Jared Goff thing. But tonight they found a way to get pressure. Aaron Glenn found a way to get pressure. They found a way to get off the field on 3rd down. They found a way to keep Minnesota out of the end zone while Jahmyr kept going there. I think he had 4. Some of this was a Sam Darnold, eventually becoming Sam Darnold again, despite what everyone said. A huge part of this was Alex Anzalone coming back because he's that important to the defense. Whether he's what they call the green dot guy, he calls the defensive plays, whether it's just making plays, which he does. He makes tackles. He's faster than we think. Alex Anzalone's a really good football player. I mean, he just is. And there's a bunch of guys on the team you could say that about. I felt like Zadarius had a really good game. I felt like Pascal had a good game. Amik had a great game. Amik Robertson had his best game as a Lion probably. And I feel good about that. So my confidence level was high. Now it's super high. If I wasn't so pragmatic, I'm not pragmatic. We're going to the Super Bowl, guys. Forget it. I don't care. We're going to the Super Bowl. That's it. Yep. Deanna, book your ticket to New Orleans. We're going to the Super Bowl. It's cool. So everybody knows, like if you listen to this podcast, I have a very good friend, Art. And if you've been listening for a year or two, Art has a interesting history with Aaron Glenn, our defensive coordinator. I'm going to say that 17 games last year. It might have been more 2 years ago, but I think it was last year a bit as well. Let's just say Art may or may not have called for Aaron Glenn to be fired on more than one occasion last year. But this year, Art's a reasonable man, smart. He watches football. He knows the game. He's coming around, and he just chimed in and said, AG did a great job tonight. And that's important, right? Because like me talking about golf is just silly. I'm a golf guy. The jersey's right here. Andy and others probably get sick of me lauding over golf. Hearing Art say that AG had a good night is a big deal. And he's right. He's right. Aaron Glenn, I'm going for it. AG's had a great season. He's had a good season. Even the games where they were giving up points. And a lot of them they didn't, though. Like the bad teams, they squashed. Jacksonville, Tennessee, Dallas, they just crushed them. I feel like they controlled Green Bay and in Detroit and Chicago. I felt like they made plays when they needed to. They did enough. And I still think he's going to get a job, probably in New Orleans, but I think that Aaron Glenn if you look at it and you step back and you think about everything they lost, I want to say he did a great job all year. When they lost one of the best pass rushers in the league. They've lost so many players, and we're not going to do that. So I have historically liked Ben Johnson, but not loved him as much as everybody else does. I struggled with Ben Johnson the first part of this game. I text Art at one point. I don't love the play calling. I don't love the play. Oh, Art agrees. Okay, so Art just endorsed Aaron Glenn. That's a critical moment in the cornbread and Kool-Aid history. So back to the question. Sorry. My confidence was already high. It is higher because I believe the defense is going to be better than it was tonight. It was pretty damn good tonight. So, but the reality is the quarterback is good and does not cost you games. You got talent every level of the offense. You have Pro Bowl level players, and you have a special weapon in Jahmyr Gibbs. I think we're a tough out. I mean, I know it's cornbread and Kool-Aid. I know it's me saying it. I don't even think I'm being biased right now. Objectively speaking, I don't see anybody in the NFC that can definitely beat us. I'm interested in Philly coming in here, or whoever comes in for the divisional. I don't even care. Rams, come on. We beat you earlier. I always love playing. The whole Stafford thing is always fun. Tampa can come back because we owe you. And we've already beaten Green Bay and Minnesota. Washington would be interesting. I don't know if there's a scenario where Washington could come here. And so we'll see what happens. Right now, rest up, get healthy. Give me Carlton Davis back. Give me Demo back. Yes, Terrence. The defense showed up big time. Now, so I guess the question is, and I'll wrap up soon, but the guys are jumping in with some statements that are making me think. Do we think this is what this defense can do? Minnesota's supposedly a good offense. They're as good as we're going to see. They're at least on level with Tampa. The Rams weren't healthy the first time. I think they were missing one of those receivers. Kupp maybe didn't play. Is Minnesota's offense as good as the Rams? I don't think the Rams defense can keep us out of the end zone, though. So as we think about this, and we got time, and by the way, I'm going to do one next week, even though we're off. I don't know if it's going to be Saturday or Sunday, but I'm going to digest this, put together maybe just a quick 3 questions. What do we think after the game's over, once we know who we're playing? So if we know Sunday night, I think I'm going to jump on early Sunday night and do one once we know who we're playing, and we can chop that up. But obviously, tonight's just another performance, showing the league, showing the country in prime time in our building. This is no cute little story anymore. We very well might be the best team in the league. And we can play with anybody, anywhere, anytime. So now I don't know, as they say, I don't know what to do with my hands because I think my team is going to go to the Super Bowl. I feel really good that my team is Super Bowl caliber. Could they go lay an egg? Yeah, but this team doesn't really lay eggs. They didn't lay an egg against Tampa. Tampa made 2 plays. They didn't really lay an egg offensively against Buffalo. So I'm hyped. Great performance by the defense. Looking forward. Actually, don't mind the week off because I know the benefit to the Lions. And we get another game in 2 weeks at Ford Field where the crowd can go crazy. Another playoff game. Playoff games in Detroit are not a big deal anymore. Put that to bed. Lions aren't just a cute story anymore. Put that to bed. I think they're the best team in the NFC for sure. I think they're the best team in the league. So let's keep enjoying the ride. Whatever happens, happens. But I think we have, as my brother Terrence has said, he apparently didn't care. I did. He feels like it wouldn't have mattered if they won or lost because they were undefeated on the road. He's not wrong. If they had lost this game, I would have been more like, why did they lose? I wouldn't have been worried about the next game because he's right. I think they can beat anybody anywhere. I've been saying it for 10 weeks. So let's enjoy this one. Let's hear a bunch of lame national narratives as to why we aren't going to go there. But anybody who watches the game should know. I know what I see. I see the best team in football. And I'm excited about it. So it is really late and a bunch of us got to work tomorrow. So I'm going to thank you all for listening. Again, a thumbs up, a heart, a repost, whatever you do to show that you enjoy a podcast, I will take it and I will appreciate it. And we might have 3 more of these to do, although I have no idea how I'm going to do a podcast after a Super Bowl with that much tequila. No, I'm sorry. I mean, it'll be fun. I'm not going to jump ahead. Divisional game in 2 weeks. We'll do one next week just for fun, see how things shake out, see what we want to do. Thank you all for joining. Always acknowledge the super producer, Mike Ward. Everybody have a good night, and we'll see you next week.